out there, they're talking about the rainforest. Do you know that the rainforest is being destroyed at the rate of 100 or thousands of acres every minute or day? And there's a hole in the, this enormous hole up in the...
In the ozone.
Right, and it's 3 times the size of something.
It's the size of the United States.
Okay, so,
I used to be scared like you.
Yeah, you did?
Are you kidding? I was so scared I pretended that none of it was happening. But that didn't make it any better, so I decided to do something about it.
So what'd you do?
See this? Low-flow aerator. Cuts down water use by 50%.
Oh, that's good.
See the shirt? It's washed with phosphate-free detergent.
Really?
You know why that's important?
No.
Where do you think all the dirty water goes from your wash?
Probably down the drain.
Some of it winds up in our rivers and lakes. You don't want to kill fish, do you?
No, God, I don't want to kill anything.
And these? I recycle these.
Welcome back to a very special podcast, everybody. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. But tonight we're kind of like flipping the script a little bit. Instead of wine, we're going to be drinking, well, actually I'm still drinking wine, but we're doing it by candlelight because we're trying to conserve energy.
Yeah, totally. It's totally candlelight.
And why is that? Because we are doing the Earth Day special, the 1990 Earth Day special, which we've only talked about for at least a year, right?
Yeah, it's been, I think we first mentioned it in the Doogie Howser episode.
I think last year around Earth Day, we watched the Earth Day special, and then we figured it was too late to actually do an Earth Day special episode. So we're like, we'll wait till next year.
Yeah, we didn't have the time to actually do an episode, so we kind of just threw a discussion about it into the Downtown Julie Brown episode.
No, that wasn't the Downtown Julie Brown episode. That was just regular Julie Brown.
Oh, regular Julie Brown. God, that's right. Why do I get them confused?
But speaking of Downtown Julie Brown, she is in the Earth Day special. She has a quick appearance.
That she is.
So maybe that's where your mind was.
That's probably where my mind goes.
And who am I? We didn't even introduce ourselves. I'm Patrick M. Dunn.
Yeah, we just started talking.
I'm Patrick M. Dunn. You probably remember me from the previous 80-ish episodes. And I'm joined here, as always, by Kat Halstead, the author.
Hello, people. What is up?
And you can follow her on Twitter at CatDVS if you want to get catty with her, because she is just... You're gearing up for a takedown?
Oh, always.
Yes. Shutting men down on the internet since forever.
Since 1997.
So we're totally excited to do the Earth Day special. This was something that I totally watched in school. I don't know about you.
I don't think we watched this in school.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think at any point we ever watched this.
I mean, it wasn't really very family friendly, but for some reason we still watched it in school. In second grade, because I pinpointed that I would have been in second grade in 1990.
Really? We were in second grade then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We also had an illustrious Earth Day concert at my school. I don't know if did you have a special event at your school?
No, okay. So when I was in the 4th grade, not my teacher, but the other teacher was the one who was all into Earth Day and recycling and stuff like that. And she had an Earth Day kind of club that I was part of that would do after school activities, which I don't even remember what it was except for maybe making paper out of recycled paper scraps.
What?
Where you take the paper and you put it in the blender with water and then you strain the water out on a piece of screen and then let it dry and you have this recycled piece of paper.
I've never done that before. I'm going to try that. So what do you do?
You get okay, so you take a piece, you take pieces of paper that from all those stupid flyers they would send home from school or whatever. Just all that junk that you get, and you put it in a blender with water so that you make it a pulp, and then you flatten it on a piece of screen, a thin screen, Like an old window screen or something.
Okay. I don't know where I'm going to get an old window screen, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's all about reusing materials, Patrick.
I'll go to a DIY site.
You like flatten it out and you try to get as much water out as you can to make the paper as smooth as possible. And then you have like a piece of paper that you can use. And then you can go and recycle it again later.
Is it like good paper though? Like legitimate paper?
It's like thick paper. Like it's real paper.
Could you do a school project on it?
It's the stuff you buy at those like specialty gift shops that are like, this is 100% homemade recycled paper.
Okay, but I know it always just felt like thinned out paper to me whenever I would buy like a notebook made from recycled paper.
No, like this is like the stuff you would make a greeting card or something like that from. So it's thicker.
It's cardboard-esque in a way.
Yeah, it's kind of cardstocky. I don't know, maybe I'll try this with the nephew this weekend. See what comes about.
Yeah, maybe you should put it on our Pinterest board. We can finally get something on there.
There's stuff on there.
Well, something new, something modern.
Yeah.
Something in the last 2 years, because I think 2015 was probably the last time we threw something up there. And I forgot to tweet the link to the Pinterest board, so I promise I'll do it this week.
That's on you.
I think I lost it.
Go on Pinterest. It's not that hard for you to actually find once you are on Pinterest and you look at your board.
I don't even think I know my login to Pinterest, to be honest with you. I might have to make a whole new Pinterest account.
It's probably the same login you already have for stuff. It's probably your Facebook login.
It probably is. Let's be real. Well, for Earth Day 1990, my school had a concert. We went all out.
Like, what did you sing?
We had to learn the lyrics to Bette Midler's From a Distance.
Are you serious? That's perfect.
And so I think every grade did their own song.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was 4 grades in my elementary school. So the second grade class did From a Distance. And we had a music teacher at this point in time. Like we actually had a music program in the school before it got like slashed in 4th grade. So we had a guy named Mr. Bean. He was this really weird looking, if he were around today, he'd probably be a hipster. He would classify as a hipster.
Okay, yeah.
So whatever the 1990 version of that is called.
Probably a beatnik.
I'm trying to like place how old he was, and I can't in my mind. Like he could have been anywhere from 25 to like 55, and I have no idea.
Like I cannot remember the name of my 2nd grade music teacher. I know we had one. I can kind of picture her in my mind, but I can remember the one I had in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Mrs. Fetabush.
See, I just remember Mr. Bean he kind of reminded me of like Jerry Garcia, but before Jerry Garcia got really old. Remember when he had like black hair?
Vaguely.
Well, have you seen pictures anyway?
Like most of the pictures I've seen, it's the gray, frizzy. Like even when I was watching an episode of ER today, Mark Green was like, oh yeah, this guy totally looks like Jerry Garcia. And I'm like, at this point, Jerry Garcia was dead when that episode aired, so okay.
Yeah, when did Jerry Garcia die? Was it 95-ish?
I think so, yeah.
I feel like I was in middle school when it happened, and I remember it being like a big deal.
I was definitely in middle school. I remember being, because I didn't really know who he was, because my parents were not deadheads, and my mom was a little sad about it, but like, I don't know. I think we were talking about it like leaving the Sears parking lot after like buying my first sewing machine or something really random like that.
Your first sewing machine, was it pink? Like a Barbie pink?
No, it was white Singer.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Getting a white Singer in 1990. He died in 1995.
Yeah, I was totally getting a sewing machine in 1995.
Were you prepping for home ec class?
Yes. Okay. You do know I basically lived in home economics senior year of high school, right?
No.
Oh, legitimate. Okay, so because when I moved across country, the credits and what you had to take were totally different.
I just did my mandatory 1-year home economics class, and I think we made food for one half of the class, and then we did sewing for the second half of the class. And I just did the mandatory boxer shorts that we had to make, and I think I got like a tie-dye pattern. And they were lopsided, that's all I remember. I was just really bad at it. I couldn't do it. And then I think my teacher felt bad, and she like fixed them for me. She hemmed them properly. And then everyone in the class had to submit something to the art fair. And so I submitted the boxer shorts I made that my teacher had to fix for me. This was like everybody gets a ribbon All right, I think we should move on from this subject. In second grade during Earth Day 1990, did you get the trees, the mini trees from, I don't know, the Earth Day committee?
We got like something one year. I don't remember if maybe it was second grade, maybe it was third grade.
We got these little tiny trees. Everyone in school got one. And we had to like nurture them in the school for a week, and we learned how to take care of them. And then on the Friday before Earth Day, I think Earth Day was on the weekend this year.
I think it's always on a Sunday.
No, it's always April 22nd.
Oh, really? See, I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, it's the same day every year. But I remember it was on a weekend, and we went home, and we were supposed to plant the tree on Earth Day, and I put it in my backyard, and it died like a week later.
Yeah, I remember we got trees one year. And they're like, they didn't tell us like how to take care of them or anything. They just gave them to us. We were like, your homework, go plant a tree. And so we just like planted them in the backyard. I don't think they like even took or anything. Lord only knows whatever happened to those little saplings.
Yeah, I think I overwatered it, maybe.
I think we didn't even water ours. That we just let nature do whatever nature was going to do.
I think every hour I went out and watered it, and then it just like became overwatered and drowned, and then it just shriveled up a few days later. But it was just a tiny little like sapling. It wasn't a full-grown tree. It wasn't like I was coming home with like a tree hanging out of the bus window, like a branch limb. In my mind, I imagined it would grow really quickly, and then I would be able to build a tree house in it, like within a year's time.
No, sadly no. That would take you like 20 years.
Had it lived, it probably would have been like as tall as me right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit taller. I put it in a really crappy spot too. I put it like near a fence. So it probably would have like destroyed the fence had it grown.
I think like I put mine under the shade of another tree.
So it wasn't getting the proper sunlight?
Probably not. I don't feel like my backyard got a lot of sun.
I hope one of my fellow students or your fellow students' tree is alive today. That'd be nice. If anyone's listened to this and your tree that you grew in 1990 that was homework is still alive, tweet us at Very Podcast, and we want to see a picture of it. And I don't know, maybe we'll go check it out and put like a tree fort in it, and I can live out my fantasy.
About your fantasy? Hi, random people. We want to build a tree fort in your tree that was planted in 1990 by an elementary school student.
Well, in my mind, this person is a listener of the podcast, and they still live in the same house that they lived in 1990.
Okay.
And they have like a blossomed tree.
Thanks for deciding our demographic right there, Patrick.
All right, so shall we talk about what was on that night?
Yes, tell me what was on. What night was this?
This was a Sunday night, Sunday, April 22nd, 1990.
Okay.
All right, so let's kick things off with ABC. So programming began at 7 p.m. this night. So there's new original programming on. So ABC kicked it off with the drama that everyone knows, Life Goes On.
Okay, that one with Kelly Martin and what's his face?
Bill Smitrovich.
Yeah, I guess.
He played the dad. Chad Lowe, who played Jesse. Is that who you're referring to?
No.
Chris Burke, who played Corky, the son with Down syndrome.
Yes, Corky.
Yes, so it was a family drama that focused on the Thatcher family. The son, Charles Corky Thatcher, had Down syndrome, and the daughter, played by Kelly Martin, her name is Becca, and she was like socially awkward. She was kind of weird but smart, and yeah, I think. And then she had Chad Lowe join the show in like maybe the last season, and
freaking Chad Lowe.
He played her boyfriend, and he had AIDS. I remember that. That was like a big thing.
I don't think I ever actually watched this show.
You've never seen the show?
Like, I think I saw like maybe bits and pieces, but we never like sat down and watched it.
Oh, this was like a weekly occurrence for me. I remember when Chad Lowe joined the show, he announced that he had AIDS. It was just like week to week heartbreak, because you're like, is he going to die in this week's episode? I think they always like teased that like he might die, but he never actually died on the show. I think there was an episode that took place in the future, and they said that he eventually died at one point, but you don't actually like see him die, I don't think.
I can't decide if that's better or not.
I think the show got canceled.
Well, yeah.
So they didn't really get to play it out. And I don't know if I think he wasn't even like a main character. He wasn't like in the opening credits. He was like a recurring character that I think just became popular, and they kept him around longer, I think, than they originally intended to, because... Well,
Chad Lowe was like, he was the it boy.
And Kelly Martin had another boyfriend, like, before he came along. And then I think they wrote him off the show.
Just so they could get Chad Lowe fresh off of My Two Dads.
Yeah. Do you want to know what was on after Life Goes On?
Yeah, tell me what was on after Life Goes On.
All right, we get a full hour, back-to-back episodes of the Bob Saget era of America's Funniest Home Videos.
I was probably watching that.
And then you would go to school the next day and talk about all the times you saw people get like smacked in the nuts with like billiard balls.
Or just falling off ladders.
Oh yeah, everyone always fell off a ladder.
They always fell off a ladder or got a football to the groin.
In my house, we always tried to pick out the ones that the people were totally setting up. Mm-hmm. Did you ever try to make your own?
No, because we didn't have a video camera.
Oh.
There was no video camera until I got one senior year of high school.
My cousin and I tried to make a video for America's Funniest Home Videos. Like, we actually tried to like set one up, but I don't think we ever nailed it, or we did and we just never sent it in. I don't know.
Like, this one kid in my like second grade class or something was like, oh, we're gonna have a video on America's Funniest Home Videos, and then it never happened.
Well, I think everybody said that.
Yeah,
that's like the now, like, everyone says they're gonna be on Survivor or something.
Okay, guys,
like, I'm gonna audition for Survivor.
Who hasn't been on Survivor at this point?
I think there's like 15 people left in America. Yeah. Us, the other people from A Very Special Podcast, the other one, and maybe there's a few people on Twitter that...
Well, one of those assholes works for a rival reality show.
Okay, we won't mention that. All right, following America's Funniest Home Videos was the Earth Day special. So this was on ABC. I thought this was on every channel for some reason.
I think the other channels were smarter. They already gave up a half an hour the day before.
They gave up.
For Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue.
Yes, which aired like the Friday before this.
It aired the day before, the Saturday.
Oh, I thought it was... Oh yeah, you're right. So they probably did not want to go through and like cannibalize their entire schedule because you're getting very close to sweeps.
Yeah, you're close to sweeps. Do you really want all three networks, all four or five or whatever, if you throw in like the syndicated like local place, to air the same hour on a Sunday night?
Yeah, Sunday nights, because it's a heavy hitter for these networks.
Yeah, Sunday is a big TV night.
Yeah, it's a bitchin' night. It's like Thursday, Sunday, then maybe like Melrose Mondays. No, Melrose Place wouldn't have been on yet.
Not yet.
I just wanted to say Melrose Mondays.
Mondays are a bitch.
Hey, Melrose Place. Yes, I loved saying that. I'd be like in 7th grade and being like, Mom, Mondays are a bitch.
Damn it, Patrick.
All right, so are you ready for CBS?
Yeah, hit me with the CBS. I'm betting Murder, She Wrote was on this night.
Murder, She Wrote was on at 8 p.m. Before that was 60 Minutes, the classic news magazine show. Murder, She Wrote was a repeat this night. But there was a TV movie, a Sunday night movie on CBS this night. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready. Hit me with it, baby. Hit me with it.
The Comeback. Not to be confused with the Lisa Kudrow HBO series.
The Comeback? What do we know about this?
This stars Robert Urich. He plays Scotty Malloy, a former NFL football player who travels around the world without a care. And he decides to come back to his hometown, Minneapolis, to settle down and start a life for himself.
Oh my god.
And that's basically the movie. That's the summary that I have.
Oh my god. I can already picture this movie in my head, the way it plays out.
All right. So Fox had a show on at 7. They had a full hour at 7 o'clock of a show that I've heard of the movie, but I did not realize it was a TV series.
Okay.
The Outsiders. It was produced by the same people who made the movie. So Francis Ford Coppola produced this.
Oh.
And it was a sequel to the movie.
Okay. I can see this.
It starred David Arquette. He played Two-Bit. And Billy Bob Thornton was in a supporting role in it as well.
David Arquette, Billy Bob Thornton. Oh my god, I need to watch this. I need to find this somewhere. YouTube, don't let me down, baby.
Yes, together on the same screen. Following The Outsiders was a half-hour installment of America's Most Wanted, which I did not realize they did Sunday night episodes.
They used to totally be on Sunday nights.
I just always assumed it was like a Saturday following Cops kind of thing.
No, I think it definitely had its place on Sunday night.
Or maybe they did dual nights, who knows? We haven't done a Saturday show in a while, so...
That's because, can we be honest, Saturdays kind of suck for TV.
Well, around this time, when we got to the final season of Growing Pains, there was one year it was Growing Pains, like Empty Nest and Golden Girls, like all on Saturday night.
And Who's the Boss?
And Who's the Boss? And Nurses? Shout out to Nurses.
Like, that was probably the last year that Sunday night or Saturday night had good TV.
Yeah, well, Fox pushed Married with Children to a Saturday night one year too, like when it's near the end of its run. I remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
So it happens, but it's not too often. But following America's Most Wanted was The Simpsons, and this would have been its first season, I think.
That was me attempting the theme song, and I failed.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Sack sacrilege.
Following The Simpsons was Married with Children, which the Bundys make an appearance in this Earth Day special we're about to dive into in a few minutes.
They do. Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage.
What did we say about you doing theme songs?
I thought you just meant the Simpsons one.
I meant singing in general.
Ah!
Unless you're going to do the song that Barbra Streisand sings at the end of the Earth Day special, then you can do that.
No, I can't. Spoiler alert.
It's not really a spoiler.
It's just like this random thing tacked on to the end of the special where you're like, whoa, wait, what the hell is happening now?
It's a music video that's at the end of the video. Like she's like behind a glass window and there's rain going down it, so it looks like she's crying. And
it doesn't look anything like the rest of the special. It's like, hey, Barbara, could you please do something?
I think she probably had that music video filmed. That was probably going to be on MTV. Mm-hmm. Did Barbra Streisand have a movie out around this time?
Maybe.
Was she pushing something? Did she get a new nose?
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, Following Married Children, a show that I've never heard of. But apparently it's a spin-off of another sitcom I've never heard of. Have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of a show called Open House?
I don't think so.
It was a one-season Fox sitcom that was a spin-off of another show called Duet. And only thing that I could find out about the show is that it was about real estate agents. Possibly. That's all I can figure out. And Ellen DeGeneres was in it.
Wow. Okay. That's so... Okay, then.
That's all I know. There's like 12 episodes maybe that were produced. And then following this show, Booker, the 21 Jump Street spinoff with Richard Grieco.
There was a 21 Jump Street spinoff?
Yes. It was on for one season. They took the Richard Grieco character, David Booker. He stopped solving crimes at high school, and he then became an investigator, investigating suspicious insurance claims.
That sounds boring.
And oh my, are you ready for the special guests who have been on the show?
I don't think I can handle it.
All right, so Lori Petty had a recurring role. They eventually bumped her up to a main character, like a main cast member. Marsha Cross.
I love you, Marsha Cross.
Holly Robinson.
Wow.
Mariska Hargitay.
Wow.
My internet friend, Tawny Katane. Hey, Tawny, how are you doing? And are you ready for this one?
Oh my god, I don't think I can handle it. I can't.
Jason Priestley.
Mocha,
who's currently starring in the Canadian dramedy Private Eyes about a former hockey player.
Yes, which I want to get my hands on those episodes because I haven't found them yet.
So Private Eyes is kind of like the same thing in a way. It's about a former hockey player, now private investigator. Actually, it's more like Murder, She Wrote-y, I think.
Maybe. It sounds more Murder, She Wrote-y.
Yeah, and I think there's a horse involved too. Someone told me there was a horse in it. I think Jason Priestley rides a horse.
Because he's a Mountie?
No, he's a private investigator.
I thought he was a hockey player.
No, well, you can own a horse. You don't have to be a Mountie to have a horse.
But he's solving crime.
As an investigator, not as a Mountie.
I don't know how Canada works. I just understand their big brother.
All right, are you ready for NBC? I know you were itching for NBC.
Yes. Oh my god. Give me NBC already, damn it.
All right, things kicked off. We have The Wonderful World of Disney at 7 p.m.
Wonderful World of Disney. What was on The Wonderful World of Disney, does it say?
Yes, it does. The movie Spooner. Also starring Robert Urich, so he's in 2 TV movies this night.
My, oh my. He was a popular guy back in the day.
Yeah, he plays a forger who recently escapes from prison, and he cooks up a phony resume, and he assumes the identity of a high school teacher. He then becomes a wrestling coach for a group of misfit kids with the lowest of low self-esteem. But then it turns his life around.
But of course.
And he becomes involved in their lives, and he actually wants to do good now because of these misfit teens.
Okay. Because it's always the misfit teens that warm your heart and make you see that you can be a better person.
And I'm sure by the end of this movie, they probably found out and allowed him to stay in the school. Which would not fly today.
No way. No, 3 tweets and you're out.
All right. Are you ready for what was following Spooner?
Hit me with it.
All right. True Blue.
Okay.
This was basically about a squad of uniformed officers assigned to the emergency services unit in New York City. It It originally aired on Friday nights, but then I think they pushed it over to Sunday nights. I think they wanted to give it a bump.
Okay.
But it didn't work out. It starred an actor. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. It says he was on General Hospital. His name is John Bulger.
I know the name.
He's also the nephew of actor Ray Bulger, who played the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. And also stars Ali Walker, who was on The Profiler.
Oh, okay.
And those are the only two names I recognized.
Okay, that's okay. I totally know John Bulger. Like, I had to pull up his I knew the name, but I couldn't picture the face. So I just looked it up, and he's done a bunch of stuff.
Yes. So following True Blue, we had a Perry Mason movie.
Ooh, Perry Mason.
And I couldn't find out which one it was because according to IMDb, there was no Perry Mason movie on April 22nd. There was one on in May, but not on April 22nd. So I don't know what kind of shenanigans I'm finding here.
Huh. That's a little crazy.
Yeah, so that was television landscape that night, April 22nd, 1990.
Not bad.
No, it was a good night, I think. I probably would have watched most of it.
Yeah, I think, I know I would have probably watched Magical World of Disney, America's Funniest Home Videos. I probably would have watched the CBS movie. I don't think I watched this Earth Day special. I would have turned this off.
The Earth Day special?
In 1990, I would have turned this off.
It is a jagged little pill. It is kind of tough to swallow. You have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to look at it with a special lens, special eyes.
You have to look at it for all the ridiculousness that it is.
You want to take it seriously, but a part of you cannot for some reason, and I don't know why.
Well, I think part of it is, I don't think they thought it through fully. Do you know what I mean? They just kind of and some stuff together. And they're like, oh, here, let's get this person to do this and say this and that. Let's just get Jane Fonda in here. Let's get Robin Williams. And then let's throw in some no names. Just let's mix it up. And when I say no names in 1990, I mean Morgan Freeman, who's not a name back.
You're saying Morgan Freeman?
In 1990, he wasn't a name. I checked his IMDb page, and he was one of the no names.
Had Driving Miss Daisy dropped yet?
Not yet.
When did? Oh, okay. Because he was already an old man in 1990, so he hadn't hit yet.
He wasn't Morgan Freeman, the voice that you want for your documentary about Earth Day.
He was just someone who was willing to do it for cheap pay.
Then you have this weird mix of people who are being themselves, like Carl Sagan and Michael Douglas. And then you have these people who are, them as certain characters. Rhea Perlman is Carla on Cheers, but she's not playing Carla on Cheers. She's playing Paula to Danny DeVito's Vic. But then there's a Cheers segment later on. In
my mind, I am just referring to them as Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito. I wasn't pretending they were other people.
But they're supposed to be. That's where it gets weird, is because they're supposed. If it had been Rhea and Danny, I don't think it would have been as disjointed mentally for me as it was knowing they were supposed to be characters. They were supposed to just be your average American watching this.
I kind of got the assumption that they wrote all these parts, but they didn't have specific actors in mind.
Oh, I could totally see that. Except for Mother Earth. Mother Earth was 100% always supposed to be Bette Midler.
Then as it started coming together, they started just oh, you know what? Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman are a couple in real life. They can play Paula and Vic. And the guy who plays the Robin Williams character, he seems kind of manic. Robin Williams is definitely interested in doing it. We can probably have him play this role.
And that would be every man who is supposed to represent the average man.
I didn't even attempt to learn the character names except for Mother Earth. That was
there are definitely there's a point where I'm just okay, whoever you are.
There are parts in this that work. There are segments that work, and there are ones that just totally failed. I actually thought the Fresh Prince, Queen Latifah, Kid and Play, Ice-T, Heavy D. Was Heavy D in it?
I think it was Heavy D.
I thought that little rap segment worked pretty good.
That was actually probably one of the few parts that actually really worked. Because you just sit there and you just go, oh my gosh. And you can just get lost in the music of all these super cool rappers.
Yeah, it had a dope beat. It had a message. The words rhymed. It didn't come off too cheesy.
There was nothing about beating women or anything violent like that, so.
Yeah, they don't call women hoes. They're not talking about bitches and money and shooting cops. Because that was Ice-T's whole motif in 1990.
There's nothing about your parents not understanding.
Or UNITY.
So, yeah.
But I would totally buy that single. Like in 1990, I would have gone to Record Town or Tape World, whatever was my local mall outlet, and bought the cassette single of this song. I totally see myself doing it.
I could totally see myself having gone to Scotty's and getting the single of this.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, I checked iTunes to see if it was on there, and it's not. It's like, a part of me was like, you know what, maybe there's like a Fresh Prince greatest hits and they just threw the song on there.
I feel like this might be something Will Smith pretends never happened.
Do you know what's great though?
I feel like no, they all pretend it just. I feel like everybody involved in this pretends it never happened.
Except for Bette Midler. Bette Midler, like, because she actually like takes off her Mother Earth garb at the end of this and like, all right, the facade is over. I'm Bette Midler. Here's my story.
It was just, oh my God.
Well, because she really was like a grassroots type pushing this back in the day.
Yes, she was.
Because they even like joke about it on The Simpsons in the episode where she's on and someone like drives by Bette Midler and they like throw a can and she picks up the can and she throws it at the car and the car like drives off a cliff.
When Krusty's trying to make a comeback and he's got like Luke Perry as his half brother and
yes, sideshow Luke Perry.
All that good stuff.
New look for Luke. The special basically kicks off and we're shooting through space. We focus in on Earth in this one small particular town. I guess it's like, it can be anywhere in America.
Yeah, it's just like any town in USA kind of thing.
All these people are gathered for an Earth Day event, but no one's really into it. They're just kind of there because it's the thing to do that day.
It's like something to take the kids to. Maybe they can get cotton candy and you just like don't have to listen to them.
And out of nowhere, Bugs Bunny just pops up. He popped like out of his little rabbit hole, pops out of the ground. He was trying to get to Albuquerque.
They just pop up, yeah.
And I don't know, he's in this random town. Tweety Bird is there and Porky Pig. They just appear out of nowhere. And Bugs Bunny's pissed because he's like, what is this? What is this malarkey? It's not even the real Bugs Bunny. It's the funny sounding Bugs Bunny, like post Mel Blanc dead Bugs Bunny.
Which we talked about in the Cartoon All-Stars to the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so this is like a shitty weekend for Bugs Bunny in all Looney Tunes. Bugs Bunny's kind of like fishing around to Porky and Tweety. He's like, what's going on here? And they're explaining to him Earth Day, what Earth Day is. And Bugs Bunny's pissed. He's like, man ruined this planet. They fucked everything up. Now there's just smog everywhere, pollution, the water's dirty. His carrots taste funny now. And he just like bails. He gets pissed. He chops back in his rabbit hole and bails. But before that happens, Tweety Bird says like the most adorable line in the whole special. Because Tweety Bird taught a memo tweet.
I did not catch that.
But the reason why this is funny is because I don't think Meryl Streep actually plays Meryl Streep. I think she plays a character.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she plays a character.
Which is why they didn't totally think this through. It's like the people who animated the Looney Tunes skit had a different script.
They probably did, let's be real.
They didn't realize what they were getting themselves into.
I don't think anybody knew what they were getting themselves into.
Then, as soon as Bugs Bunny bails, you see like a foot stomp on Bugs Bunny's hole. And it's Robin Williams, and he's walking through the woods. He just goes into the middle of this crowd, and he reminds me of someone you would see at a carnival or like a circus trying to like promote something.
He's the snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
He's the guy who's peddling crap.
And he's just shouting stuff. He's kind of trying to promote Earth Day, but he's just doing it in this piss poor manner. Like he doesn't understand what Earth Day is.
Like that was part of it is I think some of these scenes went on a little too long.
And while he's in the middle of this, like he's talking about how, if we ruin this planet, don't worry about it. We'll just find another planet. We'll boldly go where no man has gone before. We'll build a spaceship and just hop over to Mars. Who cares?
Okay, Elon Musk.
And that's when there's this like bolt of lightning in the sky, and this cloud comes out of nowhere. It's like what's the name of Simba's father in The Lion King?
I don't remember, but just mentioning The Lion King, everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
So it's like the cloud forms into the face of Bette Midler as Mother Earth.
Mother Nature.
She looks like someone who would be going to Coachella. She has this like floral headdress on.
She does.
She's wearing this like long flowy robe. I don't know. It reminds me of like the cover of like a Florence and the Machines album, maybe a Lana Del Rey single.
Yeah, it like something someone would wear to dress up as a hippie for Halloween.
Yeah, it's total store bought. She went to iParty that day and bought it.
It's like the flower crown. It's the stuff the kids who think on Tumblr that think they're like totally cool and hip because they don't realize this was in style decades ago.
Mother Earth she's crying to the people down below. She's, begging for them to just stop being horrible to the planet. And they're all horrified. And that's like, she starts choking in the clouds. I don't know why any of this is going on, but she starts choking. And then she just like falls to the ground.
Yeah, it's so weird. Oh my god. You're just sitting there watching this like, what in the world is happening? And you can't turn. It's a car wreck. That's what this special is. It's a car wreck that you can't look away from. And
after she falls to the ground, Doogie Howser shows up, takes her to the emergency room. They're like putting her on life support. They're plugging her into the heart monitors. Like she's not, like, this woman came out of the clouds, just talked to the people below, fell out of the sky. I don't understand the logic behind it all, but I guess it works.
There is no logic. That's what gets it. And then all these TV doctors are like trying to save her.
Could you picture Doogie Howser just chilling? He's like chilling by at the nurse's station, just talking to other nurses and doctors. And they get the call that Mother Nature fell out of the sky and is laying on the ground. She's still alive. She's okay. She didn't like smash or break every bone in her body. She's okay.
I'm legit trying to picture how they would say this like on ER.
Or like Grey's Anatomy or something.
Or just any of those doctor shows. They'd be like, so Mother Nature's coming in. Get the psych eval.
Yeah, exactly. They don't take her Mother Nature outfit off, like, and throw her in a hospital gown. They just leave the floor headdress on.
She's like Jason on General Hospital, who, like, never ends up in a hospital gown, even when he's, like, about to have brain surgery.
They leave the headdress on. They just throw a blanket over her. They do these, like, close-up shots, so it's supposed to be, like, the doctors are, like, hanging over the camera, so you just see their faces, and they're looking around, and I don't even know what they were doing to her, because it didn't look like they were doing anything to her.
No, they weren't doing anything. They should have been getting a psychologist down there.
Murphy Brown all of a sudden appears, and she's doing the news report of this.
Yes, all of a sudden Murphy Brown is there to do the on-the-scene reporting. So you've got Doogie Howser giving medical attention to Mother Nature while Murphy Brown is reporting on it. Like, this whole thing is so crazy because everybody's on, like, different networks. Like, how did they get clearance for this?
I think because it's educational.
I guess so.
The studios are willing to give up these characters' rights.
They can get the clearance to...
Yeah, because I know Doogie Howser was on ABC, but Murphy Brown was on CBS, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they really only mentioned, like, certain characters' names once or twice. Or not at all. You just kind of, like, assume that's who they are.
But what is funny, though, is the Ghostbusters skit, but it's not really the Ghostbusters. So they did get Harold Ramis.
Yeah, they are. Wait, I have it somewhere.
He plays Elon Spencer, not Egon Spencer.
It's like, oh, we can't use that name, but we could use this one.
And he's a member of the Wastebusters.
Yes, the Wastebusters.
I guess their job is to find people who are just wasters and just cause pollution. And that's when he bumps into Martin Short, who's playing some just kind of like scummy businessman who probably just pollutes a lot and runs these corporations that cause a lot of pollution. Like a denier. He's basically like a Donald Trump.
Honestly, the first time I watched this, I half expected Donald Trump to show up. Because it just seemed like the kind of thing he would have done.
No, he would not have done this because he's just kind of like a greedy man and he runs these companies that
You know what? He would have been able to do it because he would have had LaToya Jackson and Marla Maples like fighting over him this weekend.
That is true.
Honestly, I am shocked they haven't done another one of these.
I don't think this was very well received.
Probably not. Like, part of me is like tempted to tweet ABC and be like, so when's the next Earth Day special starring Bette Midler?
You should just tweet Bette Midler and see what she says.
I'll tweet it from the podcast.
I'm sure ABC has long forgotten about this.
Probably. They've gone through so many management changes.
All right. So what are some of the other segments in here that are notable?
There is, hey, we got all the kids. There's the stuff with all the kids. Like, Because at this point, these kids are total unknowns. But it's like Mayim Bialik and Jonathan Brandis, and they go on this like mission to save Mother Nature, and they get the magic book from E.T.
Yes, E.T. has this book. Apparently, E.T. arrives back from his home planet after, pretty much having to like abandon Earth 10 or so years earlier.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm going to show up. Sorry, Drew Barrymore. I'm not here for you. I'm here for Mayim Bialik and Jonathan Brandis.
And some other random kid.
And the kid who played Rufio from Hook or something.
Was that who that was?
There was a couple of other kids, but they don't really talk. I think one of them was the Rufio kid.
Well, there was one kid that kept having lines, and I was trying to place him somewhere, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out where he was from.
He's probably like one of those kids we saw in a million different things when we were kids, and never knew his name.
Like, a part of me initially thought he might have been one of the Step by Step kids, but then I got like a better look at him. I was like, no. I'm like, he's definitely in something, because he's in a bunch of the scenes. He has a bunch of lines. I think he even speaks at the town hall thing too.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's 4 kids, but then one of them just kind of like vanishes.
Yeah, well,
from the thing, and I think that's the Rufio.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they weren't banking on Jonathan Brandis and Mayim Bialik to be like huge names.
No, probably not.
2 years later.
Probably not. They probably had no clue.
I don't even think their names are in the opening credits of this.
I don't remember whose names were in this.
I was taking note, and I didn't see their names in there. What did you think of the dating games segment?
That was so weird.
So we have Gina Davis. She's the contestant on the show, or the one who's going to win the date, and she's interviewing the three suitors. And the first 2 are like studly looking men.
Yeah, they're like hot guys, but they both talk about taking long drives, and they don't mention like anything good for the environment.
Yeah, like, we're going to go on my yacht and we're going to sail around the world. Then we're going to drive the countryside for hours.
We're going to get in a limo and go up to Catalina or something ridiculous.
And the third one is Rodney Dangerfield.
Like, we're going to go for a walk. Maybe ride some bikes.
Rodney Dangerfield is being a total pig. I think she's like, oh, like, describe your first date with me. And he's like, oh, to get you home. But he's like, but we'll walk there. And then we'll take a tandem bike. Then we'll go down on the beach and watch the sunset. Yeah. That'll get you home.
So that's who she picks.
She picks him.
And then you could tell, like, right away, she's like, uh-oh.
I think when the host asks her why she chose it, she's like, well, the first 2, their carbon footprints are very, very large. The third guy, although repulsive, his carbon footprint is very small. And that's the kind of person that I could see the rest of my life with. Someone with a small carbon footprint. And then he's like, hey, look at you other 2. And you try to tell me I get no respect. Yeah. And he like struts over. Gina looks like slightly disappointed, but she rolls with it because, hey, she's seen worse.
Okay, and then there's my favorite segment.
I think I know what this is.
I think you know what it is as well.
The most dramatic, I think, of them all.
I think it's just fascinating to watch.
It involves Kevin Costner and Meryl Streep.
So, like, Meryl Streep is, like, walking around the town, and they're, like, everybody's, like, giving these speeches about what they think they can do for the environment or what pollution has done to destroy their lives. And she, like, goes into this bar, and she's like, oh, can I get beer or water or something? She, like, orders a drink, and Kevin Costner's the bartender, and they have this weird conversation. It was probably, like, the most real moment of the whole thing out of all. Like, I think this is the most honest.
Yeah, she's in distress. She looks clearly distressed. All these facts that she's hearing, all these people that are speaking to her. Mother Earth fell out of the sky like an hour ago and is dead, maybe.
And all these people are just like having this weird, creepy funeral for her, basically, in the middle of the town square.
Meryl Streep doesn't know what's going on. She's like, is the world ending? Is this our last day on Earth?
What am I supposed to be doing?
She finds this bar.
And Kevin Costner's kind of like, well, we just do what we can do. We take it one day at a time, one step at a time. But there's also this weird, like, sexual energy between the two of them. Or maybe I'm still just, like, picturing that in my own mind.
So she's sitting at the bar, and she's trying to figure out a way to save the planet. And Kevin Costner's like, oh, I've been doing this for years. A couple of years ago, I was in the same boat as you. I was desperate. I thought this world was going to be ended. But I made little changes in my lifestyle. He's like, for example, I use this aerator right here to pour my beers. It uses less water, less air, less energy is produced. And she's like, oh, really? Like, she's like, just that will change the world? And he's like, yeah. And then he like throws his can into the recycling bin. And he's like, just recycling a can uses 300% less energy. And then she's like, I know, I understand all that, but she's like, it's just me doing it though.
Recycling.
He's like, you're looking at it, the big picture. You got to look at it small. You can coerce your neighbors into doing the same thing. They'll coerce their neighbors, and so on and so on. Suddenly feel a little more optimistic about this. And then she's like, you know what? I think I'm ready to go back to the town hall meeting and see what's up. And then they kind of have this like weird, like, she's like, will I ever see you again kind of moment.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll always be here, Meryl Streep, waiting for you.
It's like, just come back into his bar, lady.
So the closing scene, which is Doogie Howser comes out to the town hall. He's like, everybody, I got bad news. Mother Nature, I don't think she's going to make it. We're doomed. Everyone should just like hold hands and cry. And then all of a sudden, the hospital door opens and she's there in a wheelchair. She like steps out of it. Robin Williams is like escorting her to the stage. She gets to the podium. She's like about to speak. And that's when she like breaks the fourth wall. She reveals that she's Bette Midler.
Because of course. It was just so weird.
And I don't know, I kind of like the way it ended.
Yeah, it ended on a serious note, and then all of a sudden, you've got Barbra Streisand singing. This is the kind of thing, you grab a bottle of wine, you have a glass, and you watch this, and you just keep drinking. It's
not the easiest thing to watch. I'll be honest, I kind of like lost interest a little way into it.
That's why there's like some scenes that just kind of go on too long, and you're just like, oh my god, why this scene needs to end.
Yeah, and I felt like a dickhead because I fast forwarded some of the factual stuff.
Oh yeah, well, but really, it's a little skewed.
Well, they did these little like infomercials in between where they just showed like real people doing cleanups and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just here for the celebrities.
I'm here for the celebrities, not for you real people. Not almost 30 years later.
Yeah, because the facts are outdated now. Yeah, they would have these little videos on like deforestation and proper fishing techniques and stuff. I don't know, like just random things they just intermingled in with the entertainment.
Here, recycle your lunch tray at school.
So that is the Earth Day special. So what are we doing next week? Are you excited?
Next week, we are diving into something totally different for us, but still right up our alley.
It eventually was a TV show, right?
Yes, it was. It eventually became a TV show. And thank you, because now the theme song to that TV show is going to be stuck in my head all night, but it'll be a nice break from the Party of Five theme song.
So it began as a book series. We are going to be doing a book.
Yes.
We are going to read a book. We're going to read an entire book.
It's not that long of a book.
No, but like we're still going to read an entire book.
Yeah.
We're going to get together. We're going to, I don't know, discuss plot points and character breakdowns. And I don't know, maybe we can like, it's going to be like an Oprah book club kind of thing.
It's going to be just our own little book club.
Yeah. And is it the first book in the series that we're reading?
Yes. This is the first book of the classic teen book series, Sweet Valley High. We are reading Double Love.
Double Love, the original. This is what started it all.
This is what started it all. And I cannot wait to talk about it because I love Sweet Valley High. I love that whole world.
I've already read it, and I kind of went into it like, oh God, what am I doing? But
you're like, what did I let Kat talk me into this time?
But I will be honest, I didn't hate it too much. It was okay. It was a quick read. It wasn't difficult. Mm-hmm. And for what it is, it wasn't too bad.
I'm excited because, like I said, I love the series.
Yeah, so go to your local library, pick up the first book of Sweet Valley High, or tweet us at Very Podcast, and we'll give you the link to the PDF of it.
Or just read the copy you've got sitting in your basement.
Yeah, you probably have it. You got it from one of those like Scholastic book flyers that went home every couple weeks that Kat recycled.
Or the bookstore. Kat recycled and turned into paper for like a Mother's Day card or something.
So definitely follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. What's our website address?
Our website is averyspecialpodcast.com.
We have an Instagram. It's A Very Special Podcast.
Facebook, A Very Special Podcast.
Our Pinterest board. Where we're going to have how to recycle paper.
All kinds of stuff, so.
Kat's going to have like a step-by-step process with pictures.
Apparently I've got a project this weekend.
Maybe a video with like a funky beat playing over it. And
bye!
As always,